How's it going, everybody, and welcome back. As you guys can see, I am starting off today's video back at the old base to the MGSR server. The reason for that is because today is the last MGSR Season 1 video, and as I was walking over here, there were actually two creepers that exploded pretty big holes near this house. And for this hole, I actually had to grab some more oak planks, and for this hole, I can't actually bring the boat as close as I wanted to, because it will go down into that hole, and I won't be able to get the boat back out. But today I'm actually going to be showing you guys everything that we made on the MGSR server. So this was our mining area back at the old base, and as you can see, there are decent caves over here, which we explored this cave pretty good, and then I ended up going down here a little bit farther to gather some cobblestone. The reason for needing this cobblestone was actually for the bridge, which I'll be showing you a little bit later. But if we keep going down here a little bit farther, there's actually a big cave system that we really didn't explore much in the MGSR server. And as you can see, there's gold still up there, and there's a skeleton over there that's shooting at me, because we really didn't light this one up that much, and we really didn't explore too much of this cave system. I ended up moving too quickly, and I created a new mining area at the underwater base. But this is really all that we have down here. There's actually one more part down here that I'm actually going to show you guys before I head back up to the old base. And if I go up just a few flights of stairs here, you will see that the open area that I just showed you, there's actually a secret tunnel on the side right over here. And this tunnel we actually used quite a bit for gathering cobblestone for the bridge. But if I actually keep taking this, this will end up near a big cave system. But there's no point in walking down there because most of that cave system has already been explored. But now I'm going to head back up to the top floor of the old base, and I'll see you guys once I get up there. Alright, so I just got back up. Now I'm actually going to show you the two bridges, which are just outside here. And there is a boat bridge, and then there are two actual bridges. And these ones are really long, and as you can see, the walls are made of cobblestone walls, which is why we needed to get quite a bit of cobblestone, because in the beginning of the server we didn't have much cobblestone, which is why we had to go down to that cave system to gather some cobblestone. There's also cobblestone on the floors, which is why we needed a majority of the cobblestone, and we needed quite a bit to also do the walls. But you can see it goes all the way down there, and here's the boat bridge, and there's actually a wolf stuck in there. And this boat bridge was a really good idea, because it got me to the underwater base from my house. But it didn't really work, and I should have made it a little bit wider, because I can't make it to the underwater base without hitting the walls, no matter how straight my boat is. But it still got me from the old house to the new house, which was the underwater base. Soon after, we created this big drop, and this big drop, there is a ladder, but we don't need to take it down because we can just land on these slime blocks. And now I'm going to walk through all of these farms, but first we actually built this floor to the underwater base. Some of these farms are not actually going to be in the order that I built them, but they're going to be in the order that I pass them, as well as some other parts to the video. This is a cactus farm, which actually did pretty decent amount of cactus. And this next one is a cocoa bean farm where you flip the lever and the cocoa beans fall, and I don't know why there are no cocoa beans on this farm. The only problem with this farm is that you had to replant your cocoa beans. This one is a pumpkin farm, and it did pretty decent, though we used melons for most of our food source near the end. When a pumpkin grows, it'll actually get pushed to this repeater and actually break. But it has to be a pumpkin, and it can't actually be a wood block because it will actually ruin the system. But if I put this repeater back, you can actually see how it works. And you can actually turn off the lever. That way the pumpkin will just stay right here. But I like to turn it on automatic, that way I don't have to come up here to look every few seconds whether or not it has a melon or a pumpkin that has grown, because there's a melon farm directly next to it that does the same thing. This is an automatic wheat, carrot, and potatoes farm, and if you put some bone meal in here, you can see that it's not that good of a system, but I'm still going to turn it on just to show you guys what it does. So all you have to do is put some seeds, some carrots, or some potatoes here, and it will grow your wheat, your carrots, or your potatoes until your bone meal runs out. And then you can flip off the lever when you are done. But you can see that there's no more bone meal in here. And I only got 2 pieces of wheat, which is why this system is not a good system. Next, I'm going to show you this rail system, which actually doesn't have any minecarts in here. So let me go grab a minecart and I will be right back. I just got a minecart. I'm actually going to take this over to the other side. And as you can see, everything around me is covered by glass. And this exit over here is actually pretty hidden. I was planning on using this a little bit more, but I ended up not needing to go to the terracotta biome as many times as I had originally planned for. But if we kept adding the roof, which I'll show you guys a little bit later, and that was a red glazed terracotta roof, I would end up having to use that for the easiest way to get over to the terracotta biome. But as you can see, this is pretty hidden, and it would be hard for people to get into my base if they didn't know about this. Now I'm going to take this minecart back over to the top floor to the underwater base, because we did add another floor to the underwater base in a later video, but I'll explain that after I show you guys the rest of the farms and builds that are on this floor. And the original plan for this minecart was to end up putting it in this chest, but we used it in a previous video to get some villagers over, which I'll be explaining later. This sugarcane farm, I was expecting it to produce more sugarcanes, but that's okay. This is a chicken farm, and it actually didn't produce that much either. And what happens is the chickens up there lay eggs and put it in this dispenser right here. And then the eggs are shot out, and sometimes they will get baby chickens. And when these baby chickens grow, they'll actually die, and their chickens will go into that chest. And as you can see, you will actually get cooked chicken because the chicken will cook itself. This netherworts farm, all you have to do is hit the button and water will dispense, and then you have to hit it again. And I was expecting this to work better because you actually have to come all the way up here to replant, which I knew about, but not many netherworts make its way into that chest. This is a cobblestone generator where all you have to do is get a diamond pickaxe and keep firing at this block right here, because cobblestone will regenerate and you can't actually delete the obsidian block until you mine it for like 10 seconds. This is an Armory Clipper, which I'll actually show you guys, but first let me take off my armor. And you should have a pressure plate up there, but I actually just made it a button. And you should see that the armor will not actually make its way into the armor spot, but it will make its way into the armor spot if you had a pressure plate there. And you can see that you also get 2 stone pickaxes as well as a stone sword, which either ran out or it's on the floor in front of me. Oh, there it is. Perfect. And you can see that the stone sword is right here. This is a wooden button that you can actually hit to get 34 torches. Though I already have torches on me, I'm actually just going to put my torches into the cobblestone generator. That way it's just easier, and that way you can see exactly how many torches I get. So if I hit the button here, you can see that torches will come out, and I will get exactly 34. Though if I were to replace this with a stone button, I would only get 32 torches. It's just the way the redstone works. And coincidentally, I actually had 34 torches on me. And this is a fire pit where you can turn on and off the fire. But I like it on because I think it looks cooler and lights up this room a little bit better. And you can actually see if I turn it off, it gets quite dark in here. And this is a potion brewer, which we actually used quite a bit to get some night vision and water breathing potions. All you have to do is hit the button on the items that you want to use for your potion. And as you can see, that torch was turned off because it sends a redstone signal over here. And then this dropper, I'll put it into the hopper, which will go in the exact order which you press the redstone buttons to build your potion. This right here is where the water bottles go, and they actually go into that chest. And this is where the blaze powder goes. And I actually put these signs here, but you don't have to. That way I know what to put in the chest. And here are where the done potions go, and you can just put them right in there. These potions do take quite a while to be built, but luckily for me, I was usually pretty close and I could just change them out, because that was another downside. You had to actually change them out, and once it had all 3 items, you just had to take out the potions and new ones would go in, and then you'd have to repress the buttons. This right here, if you hit the button, you'll actually get 16 pieces of food, but there's actually no food in there, so I'm going to just put some items in there. And you can see that it will give me an assortment of food, not in the order I placed it in. And we actually used this for a little while, but then I found out it wasn't that useful because it would give me random food. This is a big map, and we actually explored this woodland mansion right over here. We also used it to find some villagers, which were in this village over here, as well as some sand biomes and things like that. Though it wasn't finished, it was still a really cool project. This is a note block where we played a CD, I think, once or twice. This is a lava pit, which actually is not burning down my house, as it was burning down my carpet on the bottom floor. These potions are now finished, so let me just put them in this chest right here. And you can see that the water buckets did regenerate. And now I have 5 night vision potions here in this chest. And that is it for this floor. And there's actually quite a bit of lighting on the ground, which I'll be showing you in a second. But this corner is actually for this minecart elevator. And if I go down just a little bit, I can show you guys the underneath part to the flooring of the redstone lamps. And if I delete this block right here and jump up, you can actually see that this is a decently sized room. And it's just for the lighting. You can actually turn on and off these levers to turn on and off the lighting. And these are probably going to be a pain to get back in. And this was a pain to make. But I just made all the blocks going the same way. That way it was a little bit easier to build. Then we added multiple floors. And this is the second floor. As you can see, the same corner for the elevator. It's a little different because this time we're going up, but once again this has the redstone lamps underneath as well. This part took quite a while to build, but it's actually the chest organizer, which goes all the way over there. And this is the input chest right here, so if I put items into this chest, they will actually get sorted. And if they are not sorted, they will actually make their way over to the miscellaneous chest. You can only put stackable blocks into this chest. As you can see, these are not stackable blocks. And I'm actually going to put back on my diamond armor and put this iron armor back into this chest over here, which is why these items are not actually sorted. And this chest next to it is also a chest for weapons and things like that. And if I keep making my way down the line, you can actually see that there is another input chest into this chest organizer. And I'll actually be putting the bed in there just to show you that it will go to the miscellaneous chest. And this is the input chest, and all I really have to do is put the bed in, and it should make its way into this chest over here. Though it is pretty full, as you can see I should empty it, but there's really no point because this is the last episode in this season. And the bed actually made it right over here, which I can actually grab back because I may need it a little bit later. Now I'm going to show you guys the village on the other side of the map. And to get to the village, the easiest way is actually to go through this portal, which I actually use to transport quite a bit of villagers. So let me go into this portal, and first I'll show you guys this bridge that I built, and then I'll show you guys the walk over to the village. This bridge was a pain to make because there's so much lava around me and above me, but eventually I got it to work. And if I actually delete through here, I'll explain what that was for in a later part of today's video. But if I go all the way down here, you can see that it will make its way over to the ground floor of the portal. If I hit the button right here, you can see that there is quite an open area, and over there's a little bit more open. But you can see this is the bridge, and this is the nether. And I'm actually going to go back to the other side, and I don't know why it's missing a button there. I still haven't replaced that. And I'm actually going to put this wall back because the reason for this wall is because I transported villagers over, and I didn't want them going that far that way. And if I take this path all the way over, I will run into another portal, which will bring me over to the village. So I will see you guys once I get over there. Alright, I just got over here, and I really don't know why it's burned right here. That is a little weird. I was not expecting to walk into that. And there's actually a hole here too, which is really surprising. But luckily we don't need to transport any more villagers over to the underwater base. This portal will actually bring me over to the village. And as you can see, it is pretty dark, so I probably should sleep in my bed. And you can see that there aren't going to be many villagers here because I transported most of them back to the underwater base. And I'm pretty sure I got them all, but there were only like 5 or 6 villagers over here, which is surprising because this village is actually pretty big. And I was only able to find 6, and I was only able to bring 5 back, but I will explain that once I get over to the portal. So now if I go back in here, you can actually see that this long path that I just took over here, which was probably about a 2 to 3 minute walk, which is quite a ways to bring some villagers over. And if I keep going, there will actually be little gaps, and that's where I actually put the villagers, because I would have a rail system all the way over here, and then I'd bring them to this gap right here, and then I would delete the rails and set up a new rail on the other side and move them a little bit farther along the way. And the reason for this was also because I didn't have that many rails, so I had to put them at little stations 3 or 4 different times. and it actually took almost an episode and a half to bring 5 villagers over from that village to the underwater base. And I'm going to do a time lapse of me walking back, but you'll notice that there are a few other spots where the villagers actually stayed at before I actually get back to the underwater base. As I mentioned, only 5 villagers made it back with me, because one ended up suffocating in the portal when I was trying to transport it through the portal back to the underwater base. I'm just getting back to this cobblestone part now, and I actually pushed the villagers all the way down these stairs. That way I didn't actually have to delete the stairs, and I think it was easier than putting them on a minecart and actually deleting the stairs. And I actually brought them through this portal, and then I actually blocked off this area over here so they couldn't move that far, because when I transported them over, they weren't on a minecart. And then I actually deleted the floor all the way over to where the villagers are currently at, which I'll actually show you right now. The villagers are right over here, and there's only 5 of them. And before I actually show you where the villagers are, you can actually see that there's a library and a store. And all these villagers have is the same trade. Though this guy actually has 2 new trades, which I actually haven't seen. But they're really not that good of a trade. And all these guys really wanted is rotten flesh. And this is a store in which you throw some sort of currency, which for this case is going to be melon slices, in exchange for some dye or some flowers, depending on which item you want. Though I knew this store wasn't actually going to have any use, I figured it was a good use of this space. And you can see these are where the guys are actually at, and there's flowers up there, and I think it's a really cool design that I put in my creative server. And this is a library in which you come over here to get your book stamped and dated. And this room may never actually finish because there's still lighting that needs to go on, and this side actually needs to have villagers. But we don't need to worry about that anymore because we might be starting a new series pretty soon. And this room actually has sea lanterns as the lighting source instead of the redstone lamps. But now let me walk over here to show you guys the bedroom, and this is the desk where you can actually be on your computer, and there's your mouse, and there's your computer, and there's another desk right here, as well as some bookshelves, and then the bed. And last but not least, there's actually a little toilet where you can do your business, and then the toilet paper is actually right here, as well as the button. And there's not really much else in this room besides an armor stand and an anvil. And this armor stand we didn't actually really use, as well as this anvil we really didn't use, but you can see it's already about to break. And over here is actually a ladder, and that block right there should actually be a slime block, which we never really replaced. And if I go all the way up this ladder, you will see that there is a dock up here, where there should be quite a bit of boats, and that way I can use the boats to get around in the water. And let's see if I can find a boat. There's actually only 2 boats over here. So I'm going to just get in this one, and I'm actually going to show you guys the sheep, which I added in a previous video to try to get carpet to the village room. And it's actually right over here. And you can see that the grass never grew, which I really don't know why. There's natural light going to it, but that's okay, because these sheep never got to eat, which is actually really unfortunate. But I'm actually going to show you one more thing, and I'm actually going to go to that mountain straight ahead. And there's actually going to be quite a bit of snow up there, but I will show you guys what I mean and what we actually did up there once I get up there. On top of this mountain, there's actually a pretty big mining area where you can actually go down these stairs. And I actually created my own mining system, but I will show you guys that once I get down there. I just made it down here, and there's actually quite a few different ways to go in order to go mining. And somewhere over here should connect to the other mining system, and you can actually go back up these stairs where I just came from. But I'm going to see if I can find the mining area that connects to the current mining area back at the underwater base. So I'm going to look around for a little while, and I'll let you guys know if I can find it. I wasn't actually able to find it, so I'm going to make my way back up to the underwater base, and I'll let you guys know once I get back. One other thing that I used on the server was actually keep inventory. And I'm lucky for this because many times I would accidentally do something like this and I would end up dying. But luckily I actually have keep inventory on, which I will try to remember to turn off when we start the next season. And my bed was actually destroyed because I actually slept on the way over to that mountain, which means that my bed is actually destroyed because I slept there one night and then I deleted the bed. So I will see you guys once I get back to the underwater base. Alright, I just made my way back, and you actually see that there is a enchantment table right here, where we actually use this quite a bit to enchant some pickaxes and axes and swords and things like that. And you can see that there is a roof right here that hasn't been completed yet. And I actually only have a few more things to show you here in the underwater base, which is actually going to be right here. We have a station right over here where you can actually smelt and use it for a furnace smelter to smelt different items. And it's actually out of coal. So let me go grab some coal and I will be right back. So the coal actually goes in this chest in the back here. And as you can see, as soon as I put the coal in, these items will start cooking. And if I actually grab all these items, you will see that 2 items will make its way into this chest at a time as soon as they are done cooking, because there's actually 2 furnace smelters. This is an item swapper where you flip the lever and it will actually bring the items back and forth from a crafting table to cobblestone. But it doesn't really work right now because there's carpet on every single block but that block. And this is the same thing but with a cauldron. Now I'm going to show you the mining area, which is right over here. And you can see if I go in the corner, I will actually land on a slime block. And then I will have to take a ladder for a little ways to go down from the bounce, that way I don't lose any health. Down here, there are many different ways to go, and there's actually a pretty big mine shaft down here, which I'll actually go down and show you guys what it looks like. So I will see you guys once I get over to the mine shaft. So right up here is actually a bedroom area, which I used when I was down here, exploring the mine shaft. But if I actually go down a little bit farther, you will see that the mine shaft is just down here. And this mine shaft helped me get rails, which we used to transport the villagers, and it helped me get iron, which we used for the chest organizer. And this is actually a really big mine shaft, but I'm pretty sure I explored most, if not all of it. Now I'm going to make my way back over to the mining area, and I will see you guys once I get there. Alright, I just got back, and now I'm actually going to show you guys this XP farm that I created. And I'm going to have to find where it was. I don't really remember. I think it was down here somewhere. But I'm going to find it, and I'll let you guys know when I do. Alright, I just found the spider XP farm, and all you have to do is grab a sword and stand right here. And some, but not all, of the spider droppings will make its way into the chest directly next to me. And if they're not spawning quick enough, you can delete this torch, in which they will spawn a little bit quicker because it is darker. Though light doesn't really affect spiders because they can spawn both in the day and at night. And as you can see, the spiders are spawning pretty quickly. And if I go into this chest, you can see that there are not many droppings in there, because some of them are probably stuck here on the walls. And I did get 1 string. But now I'm going to make my way back over to the mining area, and I think I only have a few more things to show you. If I go to the left over here, you will actually see that there is an item elevator, which you can actually use to transport items from mining to the chest organizer on the top floor. So I want to put some items in here, and I'll actually show you guys what it looks like once I get back up to the top floor. So this is what it looks like, because this redstone lamp will actually be on, because we had quite a bit of redstone back there, in which I turned it on to let me know when items are actually going through the system, and they'll actually make their way all the way over through the chest organizer to their proper location. It's hard to believe that it's already the finale of the MGSR Season 1 server. If you want me to do another season of the MGSR server, be sure to drop a like. But unfortunately, that's all the time I have for today's video. Be sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button and set post notifications to all, because there are new how-to GTA videos coming out every other day. You can also follow me on Instagram at MGSR Gaming and let me know what kind of video you want me to do next. Once again, my Instagram is at MGSR Gaming. Otherwise, I will see you guys in 2 days for our next GTA how-to video. Click in the top left to watch a video that YouTube recommends for you, and click on the right to subscribe.